50 tips from the book, Leaders Eat Last. Good leaders prioritize the well-being of their team members. Leaders who create a culture of trust, cooperation, and fulfillment lead to long-term success. Leaders must establish a sense of security and belonging in their team, known as the circle of safety. Leaders who put the interests of their people before their own are more successful in the long term. Leaders should create an environment where people feel safe to express their opinions and ideas. Leaders must be willing to take risks and be vulnerable to build trust. The leader sets the tone for the organization's culture. Leaders must communicate their vision and values clearly and consistently. Good leaders focus on the strengths of their team members and help them develop their potential. Leaders must be willing to admit their mistakes and take responsibility for their actions. Leaders must be willing to listen to feedback from their team members. Leaders must be willing to delegate tasks and empower their team members. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to learn and grow. Leaders should recognize and reward their team members' achievements. Leaders should lead by example and set a positive tone for the team. Leaders should encourage collaboration and teamwork. Leaders should create a culture of innovation and experimentation. Leaders must be able to make difficult decisions when necessary. Leaders should be transparent and honest with their team members. Leaders should promote a healthy work-life balance for their team members. Leaders should encourage their team members to take breaks and recharge. Leaders should be aware of the impact of stress on their team members' well-being. Leaders should prioritize the mental and emotional well-being of their team members. Leaders should create an environment where diversity and inclusivity are valued. Leaders should be aware of the impact of bias and discrimination on their team members. Leaders should promote a culture of respect and kindness. Leaders should be aware of the impact of technology on their team members' well-being. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to disconnect from technology. Leaders should prioritize face-to-face communication over digital communication. Leaders should be aware of the impact of social media on their team members' well-being. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to connect with each other on a personal level. Leaders should promote a culture of empathy and compassion. Leaders should be aware of the impact of burnout on their team members. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to recharge and renew their energy. Leaders should be aware of the impact of sleep on their team members' well-being. Leaders should promote a culture of physical health and wellness. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to exercise and take care of their bodies. Leaders should be aware of the impact of nutrition on their team members' well-being. Leaders should promote a culture of healthy eating habits. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to learn about nutrition. Leaders should be aware of the impact of addiction on their team members' well-being. Leaders should create a culture of support and understanding for team members struggling with addiction. Leaders should be aware of the impact of trauma on their team members' well-being. Leaders should create a culture of support and understanding for team members who have experienced trauma. Leaders should be aware of the impact of mental illness on their team members' well-being. Leaders should create a culture of support and understanding for team members with mental health issues. Leaders should create opportunities for their team members to give back to their community and engage in social responsibility. Leaders should encourage their team members to take ownership of their work and feel a sense of pride in their contributions. Leaders should create a culture of continuous learning and improvement. Leaders should encourage their team members to share their expertise and learn from each other.